Dallas has just been on a tear. I believe we can attribute that to Jason Robertson. Also, Jake Ottinger, who's really stepped in.
Yeah, so we can compare a rookie QB to a toddler. Hayward's absence for this game will be significant, and I wouldn't be surprised if this game turns into a blowout as of late.
The Golden Knights just can't pull it. I really think the Avalanche are determined this year.
They made so many moves and grabbed so many guys that they have to win a championship or at least make the finals. They were on our championship and bust.
The same self, the only year he won an MVP was the year he cheated, which really should put something against that MVP. But
yeah, and as a Cowboys fan, I have learned how dangerously good Aaron Rodgers has been with he can just thread a pass.
Hello, I am Ruby Ackerman, and you are listening to Outsider's Opinion with Kevin and Austin.
What's up, y'all? Welcome to our NBA Opinions of the Week. It is almost here. And first, we are doing finals or bust. And so this is a joint list between Austin and me as we discuss before the video who should be on this list and who shouldn't. Of course, we will say the teams that are exempt are the Pacers, Celtics, and Thunder. Those are teams where you could argue, yes, they do need to win. Thunder are exempt because they won it last year, so they get it free pass. And the Pacers and Celtics have injuries, so you can't really expect as a front office that you need to go all in this year. Austin, I'll let you talk about the honorable mentions.
Yeah, so first we have both teams in California, both teams that have been in the playoffs, but they are not finals or bust, in my opinion. I don't think the organization sees themselves as final or bust, and those being the Lakers and the Warriors. Both of those teams are kind of waiting. They haven't made big moves. Obviously, Luke is a huge move, but I'm talking outside of that to make their team actually finals contending. And same thing with the Warriors. The Warriors are waiting cap room-wise for Giannis in 2027. Now, whatever happens with Curry before then or after then, we'll have to see. But I don't think the team see themselves as final or bust. I'll put both of those teams in Western Conference final or bust. And then for the East, Cavs maybe. But the Celtics and the Pacers are completely exempt because their best player tore their Achilles, right? I can't see them making the playoffs, the Pacers. I don't see the Pacers making the playoffs. I don't know how that happens. Now, it's possible because the East is weak, but I don't see them obviously making a finals appearance. And then with Boston, I expect them to make the playoffs, but I don't expect them to actually be contending. So do you want to go into the first team? You want to mention?
Yes, let's get right into it. You mentioned the East being weak. This is a team, the New York Knicks, that should be considered as finals or bust. Not just because of just the East being weak, but also they fired Tom Thibodeau, who really improved them the past few years. And the sign that they wanted to get rid of him, to me, shows this wasn't good enough, what you were doing and what you could do the following year. So to me, that shows they wanted someone that was better than Thibodeau that could get them to the finals. And they decided that to be Mike Brown. So to take this roster to the next level, which would have been the NBA Finals. So that, to me, is what puts them on this list, given the firing of Thibodeau.
Yeah, the East is weak. Like I said multiple times before, there are a couple teams I think contend. Obviously, any team with Giannis will have a chance, but I still think because of the Dame injury, they're going to have a lot of trouble in that regard. Then you have what happened with the Magic, them getting Desmond Bain, and then everything that's happened with the Cavs. So there's going to be teams that obviously, it's not going to be every team like lays down for the Knicks, but the Knicks are going to have their best chance. Boston's going to have a chance, even without Tatum. It's just this is the year for the Knicks. And if they don't do it this year, I think there's more questions regarding Cat in his place with the organization than ever, because this is a year that the East will be probably its weakest it ever has been.
Yeah, absolutely. And now I think we can go into the other three teams we have are the West. And I think let's go into the Timberwolves. That was another team that they have made it to the Western Conference Finals the past 2 years. They haven't been too competitive in them, but the next step is winning the Western Conference Finals and making the NBA Finals. So, and they haven't made too many. They haven't traded away guys either to signify that it's over. No, they're rolling with the same team, and to me, that shows, hey, we like where we're going, and the next step is the NBA Finals.
I mean, some trades, right? But they haven't made any regression trades.
Yes, yes, of course they traded Cat, but they still made the Western Conference Finals. To me, the thing would be trading away Rudy Gobert.
True. I think the next step is the finals, but this is a team that I compared to the Stars, which is why you probably said Stanley Cup. I just don't see how this team does it. There's just so many good teams right now in the West. Obviously, the Thunder are not going to be on this list because they're exempt. But I don't see how they beat the Thunder, and I don't see how they beat two of the other teams on this list. But the Timberwolves will have a chance. I mean, when you have Anthony Edwards and you have a great defense like they do, and you have the experience now that they do, they're going to have an opportunity. I just think that the chance is very small that they actually do follow through on this.
Yeah, I do think it's small, and I just with the hockey season coming up, I keep thinking of the Stanley Cup. Not really sure why, but I think we can go into the other teams, which this one is consistent team, and this is a team that made a big trade, and that's the Denver Nuggets. I'll let you talk more about that.
Yeah, they traded for Cam Johnson. They got rid of Michael Porter Jr., which kind of saves cap room, but also improves their defense. Michael Porter Jr. is a good player, but his shoulder injury really hurt him in the playoffs, and he wasn't able to shoot or defend at any level necessary to beat the Thunder. And even despite that, and despite the Aaron Gordon injury, they put up a major fight in that series versus the Thunder, and they seem like the only true threat, proven threat, I'll say, to the Thunder and from them becoming a dynasty. When you have Jokic, the expectations are extremely, extremely high. He's the best player in the sport, and I expect the Nuggets to be true contenders this year.
I agree. Whenever you have Jokic, that means you are a contender. And then when you make a move such as trading a core guy like Michael Porter Jr., he was part of that core, and he didn't live up to it. He would be problems for them, but still, to trade someone of that magnitude, part of that team, for Cam Johnson, who should provide a similar role to Michael Porter Jr., but I would say a lot less headaches given just the shooting. I think Michael Porter Jr. would always trust his shot, and you don't really. Cam Johnson doesn't have that effect. He's going to be more of a role player and filling that.
But he still averages a fair amount of points, and he can still score.
He does.
So he's a very good player, and he has experience, obviously, playing in the finals with the Suns. So
yeah, I agree. And to me, it's a different attitude from Cam Johnson versus Michael Porter Jr.
yeah,
They also
that's
traded
true.
for, was it Valanciunas? The Nuggets? They traded up for
Yes,
traded
they
for a
did.
backup center, which
Yes,
would have been
they
a
did.
huge.
I don't
part.
know if he's actually going to play. Though.
Yeah, I don't know if he's playing, but still, that's a front office move of, hey, we're getting better. We need to make it to the finals because you have Jokic and Jamal Murray.
Yeah, that's true, and I am excited to see how all these pieces kind of fit together. But the expectations with Jokic will always be massive. Also, new head coach, so that is true.
Exactly, and
they did. He was with the team last year, but this is his first full season with the team.
Yep, and new GM as well. So he's making new trades. So now I'll let you introduce the final team.
Yeah. So the final team we have is a team that I think all of us, after the moves they made, have to be here, and that is the Houston Rockets. They've added Kevin Durant, someone who's went to college in Texas and is now returning. And Houston had one of the best defenses in the league, if not the best. Jalen Green's now gone. They still have Amen Thompson. Their team looks really, really good. Scary good. I think they will contend for the best defense in the league again. I really like their bench guys. A lot of them are some of my favorite players in the league, like Tari Eason. I think this is a statement year for Houston coming onto the scene. You don't trade for a guy of KD's age and obviously experience and legacy without expecting a big, big season from the team.
Yeah, I agree with trading for someone like Kevin Durant means he's someone that wants to win the next championship. He chooses teams that he feels like is the better team of that. Oh, I can win another championship with this team. That's kind of what he's done late in his career. So the Rockets are that next step, as you said. And they also have Imadoka, who went to the NBA Finals with the Celtics and probably would have been there if not for off-the-court issues that led to the Celtics firing him. Or first suspending him, then firing him. And given the success with Joe Mazzulla. And Houston brought him in. They're a team that has made moves earlier. They signed Fred VanVleet. They also signed Dylan Brooks, then traded him in that KD trade. So trading away a young player like Jalen Green shows we want to win now. And that's the ultimate move when getting Kevin Durant.
Yeah. I think the experience will be the biggest limiting factor for a lot, but they still have some experience with Fred VanVleet and obviously Kevin Durant. But the young guys, Şengün, Amen Thompson, Tari Eason, Jabari Smith Jr., they don't have too much playoff experience. So getting a taste of that last year was important, but they still have they've yet to play in like a major series thus far in their careers. But we'll see, obviously, if they can overcome that this season.
Yeah, we'll have to see. And that concludes our episode of Finals or Bust. Let us know your thoughts in the comments. We appreciate you listening to Outsiders Opinions.